thoughts of, I didn't get that job, I didn't go back to school, I didn't get married, I didn't get that house. Just stop. You did make it to 2019. If you can understand what I'm saying, it also means you're of sound mind. So, embrace this January 1, 2019 with all your might and celebrate that you are alive. I'm Audrey Williams and this is Jamaica Magazine. Happy New Year. There's much in store for you between the pages. Stay with us.
January 1st, 2019 marks a new day in Jamaica as we phase out scandal bags and plastic straws. The ban will also affect the importation of expanded polystyrene foam products used in the food and beverage industry. To preserve our environment, we must change our behavior. I encourage all Jamaicans to refuse, reuse, and reduce for the sake of future generations. Join me now. Support the plastic ban.
Holy Mount Zion, Holy Mount Zion, just seated in Mount Zion, and rules over all creation. You watch your wind, I wanna jam it with you, but jamming, and I hope you like jamming too.
The new year brings much hope and expectations. Next, the Governor General shares his own aspirations with us. Take a look.
Fellow Jamaicans at home and abroad, I greet you warmly and wish for you a bright, prosperous, and happy new year. It does not seem like a year since we were ushering in 2018, but we cannot hold back the hands of time. Last year had its fair share and its fair spread of high points and low moments. In reference to the highs, we celebrated the performances of our youth, the Sunshine Girls, our reggae girls, Miss Alia Atkinson, our world swimming champion sensation, our scholars, led by Rhodes Scholar Mr. Shavano Baker, who rose from challenging circumstances to achieve postgraduate excellence, and most recently, the first Jamaican singer to win the X Factor, Mr. Dalton Harris. I am sure we were all inspired by them. We were blessed to have been spared the impact of any natural disasters, allowing for improvements in our economic situation. Regionally, Jamaica hosted the 39th CARICOM Heads of Government in Montego Bay and continues to make a valuable contribution to this body. As in retrospect we consider our difficulties, we can learn from the language and civilization of the past in keeping a balanced approach to our interventions. The ancient Roman emperors spoke of festina lente, make haste slowly, or more haste, less speed. We need to be patient with one another, being critically supportive and analytical rather than blindly divisive. That reference to more haste, less speed, leads me to the troubling issue of the indiscipline on our roads. This reality is a symptom of a more deep-seated problem in our society, where respect for rules is at an all-time low. Respect for others is too often absent, whether the others are road users, persons in authority, customers, or our fellow citizens. Our roadways have become sources of unavoidable death and serious injuries, leading to loss of productivity and a strain on our health services. We all must take ultimate responsibility. I hope we can challenge ourselves to make a difference and save lives, livelihoods, and the economy. As we open a new page in our lives, I encourage us all to enter 2019 with hope and confidence. Let us make the best use of our time, make every moment count, and turn the pages on those chapters in our lives which do not tell a good story. Let us resolve to be better persons and better citizens of our beloved country. I trust your paths will be lit with new hope, good values, and wise choices as we continue to be the happy, healthy, prosperous nation we can and ought to be. Lady Allen joins me in wishing for you a new year filled with inner peace, love, and hope. God bless you, and God bless Jamaica land we love.
On our roads, remember, take time, be courteous, drive good, walk good. Don't drink alcohol and drive. Don't drive tired or sleepy. Don't tailgate and don't overtake unless it is safe to do so. And always drive at a speed which will allow you time to stop quickly and safely. Let's keep it safe on our roads.
We all desire for a better Jamaica. Nice though it already is, there are needed improvements in several areas. Right now, we hear from Prime Minister Andrew Holness as he shares with us a glimpse into the plans for 2019.
This is the new year that the Lord has given us, and we who have been spared to see it rejoice and are glad in it, for we stand on the threshold of new possibilities and opportunities. As a country, we were able to accomplish much in 2018. Our economy continued recovery and entered the growth phase. We have established a flexible exchange rate and recorded low inflation. Business and consumer confidence remain high. Record high levels of employment, including youth employment, reduction in absolute poverty, rapid expansion in industries such as business process outsourcing, mining, tourism, and logistics. Record number of infrastructure projects, including the Mandela Highway Improvement Project, Constant Spring Road, 3 Miles, Ferris to Macfield, and many more. Record number of housing starts and developments through the National Housing Trust and the Housing Agency of Jamaica. Major gains in improving safety and security in the country, which resulted in a 22% reduction in murders for 2018. All these accomplishments were the result of skillful implementation of a strategic plan to transform Jamaica into a modern, peaceful, and prosperous society. We cannot and will not slow our pace. Much remains to be done. Peace and public safety continue to be an area of priority focus for the government. Last year, we implemented 2 zones of special operations, which made significant strides in crime reduction in the targeted communities. By design, we place emphasis on community development, including infrastructure development and making government services available to the communities. This year, we will increase the number of communities benefiting under the zones of special operations. We invoked emergency powers in some areas of Jamaica where crime was over and above the capacity of normal policing to address. These measures have yielded appreciable results. For the first time in Jamaica's history, the government has deployed force without violence. Citizens have embraced the security forces, and seeds of a new trust relationship between both have been planted. More than that, however, also for the first time, the whole of government has been mobilized in a strategic framework to address issues of crime and violence. Today, the statistics tell us that murders are down 22%. But ordinary Jamaicans tell me that the measures have saved the lives of their brothers and sisters and their children. More than 350 persons are alive today by virtue of these measures. The government will continue its strategic implementation of Plan Secure Jamaica, using all resources, ways, and means which are firmly within the boundaries of the law to continue reducing the crime rate. Our objective is to see a massive, sustained decrease in murders, bringing us to below the global homicide rate of 6 per 100,000. For most Jamaicans, having experienced murder rates as high as 10 times the global average for such a long time, this may seem incredulous. But Jamaica has the capacity to do it. We have proven what works. What we have learned from this last decade of crime fighting is that political unity around the proven measures and a financial commitment by the government are critical for successful and sustained outcomes. The government this year will intensify its outreach to the opposition to build political unity around the crime plan. We will also continue to make significant investments in the retooling, training, and capacity building of our security forces. As we progress in our crime fighting and peace building strategy, it is clear that greater attention needs to be paid to the socio-emotional considerations. Violence, as a means of resolving conflict, has become far too accepted as the norm. A significant percentage of our murders are as a result of random acts of violence and domestic and intimate partner disputes. This month, I will name the National Commission on Violence, which will be tasked with examining our culture of violence and making far-reaching recommendations to stimulate behavior change. Violence is the cancer that has destroyed families and communities. Let's get to the heart of the matter. On the economic front, in the upcoming fiscal year, Jamaica is projected to have a debt-to-GDP ratio of just below 100%, a significant reduction having been as high as 140%. This will create the fiscal space for government to undertake greater expenditure on human and social services. Additionally, the government will be packaging and bringing to market several public sector assets for sale on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, the first of which will be Wigton Wind Farm Limited. This is in keeping with government's policy of creating an ownership economy, giving average Jamaicans the opportunity to own shares in some of Jamaica's most profitable enterprises. Another element of the ownership economy is assisting Jamaicans to acquire decent and affordable housing, recognizing that the most important asset for any Jamaican is their own home. In addition to the work of the National Housing Trust, the Housing Agency of Jamaica, and private developers, this year, government will begin implementation of the social housing component of the HOPE program. Through this modality, the government will seek to improve and regularize the housing stock and living conditions of the most vulnerable Jamaicans, assisting them to realize the value in real estate. As Jamaica recovers and grows within the context of climate change and a globalized world, resilience building strategies must be mainstreamed in all government endeavors so that we are better able to recover from crises, shocks, and natural disasters. This is particularly the case considering that in November this year, Jamaica will graduate from its IMF program. In this post-IMF era, government will be required to undertake greater forward planning, deeper analysis of policies and targets, greater assessment of risks, and a greater commitment to discipline in the implementation of our programs. Citizens of Jamaica can be assured that your government will act responsibly and wisely to build on the gains made through years of sacrifice. Government is strengthening our central bank, establishing a fiscal council, and reducing the number of public sector entities to minimize exposure to fiscal risks. Equally, through creative financial mechanisms such as catastrophe bonds, we are ensuring speedy recovery from natural disasters. More so, we are seeking to build resilience in our civil infrastructure and the capital works that are being undertaken throughout the country. As we place greater emphasis on environmental preservation, I believe in the old saying, cleanliness is next to godliness. This year, a key focus of the government is to make Jamaica clean again. We have committed to increasing the number of compactor trucks for garbage collection. Importantly, aspects of the ban on plastics, which affects straws, single-use shopping bags, as well as expanded polystyrene containers, start today. Later this year, we will introduce the deposit refund scheme to tackle plastic bottles and unveil a plan to remove all old tires from landfills across Jamaica. These are crucial steps to preserve our environment. Keeping Jamaica clean is not just the responsibility of the government. It is the responsibility of every citizen, every household, and every business. My Jamaican family, great things are happening. There is a real sense of buoyancy, hope, and optimism. Jamaica is pressing ahead in the right direction. It is often said that the new year is a time for introspection, reflection, and change. Let us seize the newness of this year to plant the seeds of peace and love so that they may flourish as the year progresses. Let us turn away from aggression in our speech and action. Let us be guided by the principles of care and compassion for one another. A new Jamaica is emerging. Let us build this new Jamaica that we can all be proud of. Together, we can do it. I wish for all my Jamaican brothers and sisters a happy, peaceful, and prosperous 2019.
Be careful of what you post on social media. It is the season for giving, but think before you share a picture of that valuable gift online. If you do decide to share, do not tag your location in the post. Did you know that the influenza A H1N1 virus spreads just like the seasonal flu? The flu virus spreads mainly from person to person through coughing or sneezing. You may even become infected by touching things that the flu virus is on and then touching your mouth or your nose. There are everyday actions that can help prevent the spread of germs that cause respiratory illnesses like influenza. Take these everyday steps to protect your health. Cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Throw away the tissue in the trash after you've used it. Wash your hands often with soap and water, especially after you cough or sneeze. Alcohol-based hand sanitizers are also effective. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth. Germs spread this way. And try to avoid close contact with persons with flu-like symptoms. Coming up, the leader of the opposition tells us his own 2019 resolutions for the country. Watch this.
As we say goodbye to 2018 and welcome 2019, first of all, we give thanks to God Almighty for His many blessings which have sustained us all during the past year. All of us should be grateful that Jamaica was spared any direct hit from hurricanes this past year. At another level, We can all rejoice in the historic achievement of the Reggae Girls who have made it through to the FIFA World Cup in women's football. 2018 should be celebrated too, for the fact that our reggae music was recognized at the United Nations as part of the intangible cultural heritage of the entire world. This is a well-deserved tribute to the creativity of our artists over the years and to Jamaica's iconic popular culture. Despite all this, the past year proved to be a particularly challenging one, especially as it relates to the historic mission of our people to build Jamaica into a strong, vibrant, socially inclusive nation, where the opportunities to achieve economic and social progress are available equally to all the people and not just to a few. While we are all pleased that the program of economic reform started in the last administration has continued to reduce Jamaica's public debt, economic growth continues to lag behind expectations, boasts of 5 in 4 having long been abandoned. Worse is the fact that Jamaica slipped several places in the ease of doing business rankings. This has been particularly burdensome for our small businesses and new business startups, which should be the focus of creating a more inclusive economy. The proliferation of violent crime island-wide and the spread of antisocial behavior continues to threaten us all. Thankfully, the mobilization of the security forces, albeit too delayed, has brought some relief. Nevertheless, the country still has not been presented with a sustainable plan for crime management and control, and for the overall reform of the criminal justice system while maintaining our hard-won constitutional rights. Perhaps the most demoralizing feature of the past year was the rampant corruption which unhappily has become a major feature of the current national landscape. The Petrojam scandal, with all its many dimensions, is just the latest expression of the abuse of the taxes paid by hardworking Jamaicans by those in authority. While thousands of Jamaicans struggle on the margins of society to make ends meet, they are forced to watch vulgar displays of Wakanda-style parties celebrating the extravagant prosperity of a few with connections to those in office. Such wanton and lurid displays of the misuse of public funds weakens confidence in our nation's institutions and drains the energy and resolve of our people. Good governance must be rooted in the rule of law and in the protection of the rights and the resources of the people. Government officials must see themselves as being subject to the law and not as breakers of the law. Also, they should act as guardians of our tax revenues and ensure that those revenues are used only for the nation's benefit and not for their private enjoyment or in the search for partisan political advantage. As we enter into the new year, we must all draw hope from the vision and aspirations of the founding fathers and mothers of our nation. 80 years ago, they set out on a mission to build a nation on the foundations of democracy, the rule of law, and a program of economic and social development that offered every Jamaican the opportunity for personal progress. That mission is still very relevant today, as too many Jamaicans still exist on the margins of the society, denied access to high-quality education, forced to rely on rundown and crisis-plagued health services, and living in so-called squatter communities with inadequate social services such as roads, water, electricity, etc. Our commitment is to a program of economic and social development that will make Jamaica a country which offers all its people equality of opportunity and social justice, and which is guided by the principles of good governance. It is a program that offers equal opportunity to every student for a good education, and which will eradicate once and for all the apartheid system of unequal education in Jamaica. The National Development Project that we are committed to will broaden the base of ownership in land and housing and incorporate all, especially workers, farmers, and small business people, providing them with an opportunity to earn a good living from the Jamaican economy. Despite all the challenges that we face, our hope rests on the resilience, tenacity, courage, and good sense of the Jamaican people. As leader of the opposition, I pledge the continued vigilance and moral courage of the party that I lead to hold the government accountable as we advocate for a better Jamaica that offers opportunity for all the people and not just a few. We will continue to demand higher standards of transparency and integrity in governance and an end to corruption. As I ask all of us to embrace this urgent and essential mission for national development, I extend to you all heartfelt wishes for a safe, productive, happy, and prosperous New Year. May God bless you all, and may God bless this great country, Jamaica.
My New Year resolution is to really go to church and be a good Christian, live a good life.
I don't have one, just to live life to the fullest and to give God the glory.
I'd like to fix up my house, and I'd like to celebrate my 65th birthday for the new year.
Be a better person, really.
To lose weight, I guess.
New Year resolution, basically to improve myself.
Peace and love to everyone.
Hopefully, I want to make better changes in my life. Serving God. You know, me no want to say every year catch me just to be the same person. I want to bring a difference for me youth them.
To be more spiritual, be more loving, be more kind to my fellow men, and just to live life in the now.
I haven't set one as yet.
Live good with my neighbors and healing power for my body.
As we close the show for another day, we encourage you to embrace 2019 with all its splendor. Whatever you didn't achieve in 2018, if you so desire, you can still do it this year. Just start. If you achieved your goals, then celebrate your accomplishments. And remember to follow us on the various social media networks, and don't forget to leave a comment. Until next time, I'm Audrey Williams. Happy New Year.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.